Milano, and I am a PCA here at the Career Center. Today I'm joined with Anthony, and we'll be learning more about his position. Anthony, if you could describe a little bit more about your role in your industry.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Anthony. I'm a senior product manager at a tech company in New York City. Graduated Holy Cross in 2018 with a degree in computer science. And after that, I went into the tech world. So started as an associate product manager at a company called SeatGeek. They are like a live events ticketing app. Then I went to Squarespace, which is a website building software. And now I'm at a company called Grow Therapy. And Grow Therapy helps therapists build their own private practices and helps patients find therapists that accept their insurance. So right now I'm on the billing team. And so the billing team is responsible for handling all of the insurance information and payment information for our therapy clients. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Anthony. You mentioned that you had a lot of like career growth and you changed positions. So could you talk more about how you decided to end in the position that you were in today?
Yeah, so I started out as an associate product manager, which is kind of the entry level product management position. This type of role is one where you're really starting to learn the ropes about what it means to be a product manager. How do you work with engineers and designers to build features? And you're really starting on kind of smaller projects and smaller feature work for the app or software that your company offers. Then when you get to the product manager level, you're tasked with bigger projects and more responsibility for your product surface area. Product surface area may mean that if you're working at Airbnb, for example, you could be the product manager for the checkout screen. So every time a user comes to the checkout screen where they want to pay for their booking, you're responsible for how that looks, how it works, and making sure that it's performing really well. So as you get promoted and move up in level as a product manager, that area, that product surface area might increase in scope. Now that I'm a senior product manager, I'm in charge of the billing area within Grow Therapy, which has a lot of different aspects to it. There's a lot of different systems that I'm responsible for. And my job is to ensure that they're all working properly. And we're also building for the future of the company. So we're doing work now so that in 6 months or 12 months, we have different infrastructure in place for the company to really do well. So kind of as you move up in product management, your area that you're responsible for increases. And then later in your career, you might move into a managerial position where you are in charge of a team of product managers, and each product manager has their own area. So at that point, once you're maybe a group product manager or a director or VP of product, your role kind of switches from solving individual problems for your software to really enabling and empowering a team of product managers to make changes to the product or software. So over time, responsibilities definitely shift and grow, which I think is really cool for the product management career track, as opposed to a career track that may be a little bit more stagnant throughout your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned a lot too about how it seems like you have to be proactive too, and when you're talking about your products. So, could you tell me more about some current trends that you're seeing in the industry?
Yeah, totally. I think more and more people want to become product managers nowadays. It's becoming more of a mainstream career, which I think is really exciting. And I think there's really a strong need for product managers because at the end of the day, the product manager on a team is the one that's really coming up with and deciding what should be built for a product and how should it work, so that the users find value from it and continue to find value. And in 2023, especially, everything is tech enabled now. Our phones are an extension of our arms. So product managers really are responsible for solving problems in any different type of situation or area. For example, like if you go to the doctor, they're using software to track the information about what medications you take, your past medical history. And if a product manager can make that software a lot easier to use, a lot faster, doctors will be able to provide better care. So this really extends to any different industry that you can think of, whether it's farming, whether it's finance, any different industry now really has tech. And so more and more product managers are being hired specifically to create software in all of those industries. I think another trend that I'm seeing is around artificial intelligence. With ChatGPT, it's really a hot topic. It's all over TikTok and like the internet. And I think when it comes to product management, one of the key things that PMs are thinking about is how can we leverage this technology in our own companies or in our own workflows. So ChatGPT, for example, is really good at taking a lot of text-based information and making sense out of it. And there's a lot of different use cases for that in software. One example is within the support function at a company. So if someone's writing in to support with a question about how something works, or they're having trouble logging in, that probably can be answered by artificial intelligence instead of a person. Meaning the people within the support organization are handling the more difficult scenarios that really require investigation and digging into. So a product manager would look at a technology like artificial intelligence and say, okay, like I'm responsible for this portion of the product. Like, in what ways can we use artificial intelligence to make this better, a better experience? Maybe we can save cost with it. So artificial intelligence is definitely a growing trend within the tech world. And if you're interested in getting into product, I think it would be wise to read up on it. It's probably impossible to like become an expert in it because there's so much to it. But I think just learning how it's being used in the world could be really beneficial.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's so interesting to hear about how even ChatGPT can be in like a part of PM. So you mentioned too that one of the trends is that you notice that a lot of more people are interested in getting into the project management field. So could you tell me more about some skills that you think are necessary for success in this industry?
Yes, I think there's a couple different skills that really help out. One is, I think, product managers don't need to know how to code, although it is beneficial. If you're studying computer science, having that knowledge is really great, but it's definitely not a requirement. But what I do think is required is having an understanding of how technology works behind the scenes so that you really can listen to engineers, understand them, and have good conversations about it. So that involves kind of looking at different articles or books or YouTube videos to really learn how a product is actually built and how it works, and then understanding the product manager's role within that. The product manager is supposed to really be the glue or connector between a bunch of different people, like engineers, designers, people in marketing, people in the legal team, to really launch successful features. So having a good understanding of the product manager's role, I think, could be really helpful. Another is communication. So the product managers are frequently writing documents and trying to build business cases for why we should work on something. So getting really good at being concise when you write, being an effective public speaker when you're leading a meeting, putting together really great presentations that really are powerful and summarize the work that your team is doing. All that can really help for you to be an effective PM. Another skill is around analytics or metrics. Data is a huge part of the decision-making process. So learning about how you can actually use data to make decisions is really helpful. So you may want to look again on YouTube. I think YouTube is a great resource, or read different books or articles when it comes to how tech companies will track their users' behavior and use that data to make really informed decisions. And then I think the third skill is that when it comes to product management, it's one of those jobs where you really learn a lot on the job itself. There's no like class you can take for product management or major at schools, although some schools are starting to look into that. But a lot of it is learning it on the job and actually working through challenges. But one way to do that before you get the job, and even when you're still in school at Holy Cross,